Chapter 19. Imogen lay in the big bed at the top of the second tallest tower. Her thumb had stopped bleeding, and with her belly full of food, she fell asleep in no time. But, as so often happens when you are not sleeping in your own bed, Imogen slept fitfully, and her dreams were strange and frightening. She was back at home. She could hear her mom in the bathroom, making crying sounds. Imogen opened the door, and Mom was sitting in the bath, fully dressed. She hadn't ran the water yet. She was just staring at the taps, as if stuck on the question of whether to turn them on. This was what Mom had done in real life when Ross, an old boyfriend, dumped her. But that was years ago. Imogen knelt by the bath and peeped over the side. Mom's makeup was smeared down her cheeks. "Is it Mark?" said Imogen. "Did you have a fight?" Mom looked confused. "You know, your friend that you went to the theater with?" The bathroom started filling with water. It lapped against Imogen's legs, but she didn't move. "I know Mark," said Mom, "but who are you?" "It's me. It's Imogen." The water in the bathroom crept up to her waist. "How did you get into the house?" "Come on, Mom. We've just been gone one night. Where's Mark?" said Mom in a shrill voice. Imogen stood up as the water flowed into the bath, making Mom's clothes balloon. "You have to get up," said Imogen, holding out her hand. "The room's going under." But Mom just closed her eyes as the water sloshed across her face. She was gripping onto the bath with both hands. The water lifted Imogen off the floor and she began to panic. She swam back to Mom and shook her by the shoulder. Mom opened her eyes and smiled. "It's okay," she mouthed. "No, it's not!" cried Imogen, a voice full of bubbles. She came up for air. The water had nearly reached the ceiling. Why wouldn't Mom listen? How could she have forgotten them already? Then she heard a strange sound. Bells. There were bells in the bathroom. Imogen opened her eyes, coming to the surface for a second time. She was laying in a four-poster bed. Her mom was nowhere to be seen. The bells of Yaroslav were ringing for dawn, and it was raining. Imogen lay still until the last bell tolled. It was just a dream. Of course Mom knew who she was. She was probably looking for them right this minute. She'd never forget her girls, would she? Imogen turned over to see Mary asleep next to her. Merrill was curled up at the foot of the bed like an overindulged poodle. He opened his eyes as his clock began to chime. A new figure came out of the hedge. It was a hunter. He shot an imaginary arrow from his tiny bow before disappearing back inside the clock. Merrill yawned and said, "You can't trust a hunter, for you never really know if it's really the deer he's after with his arrows and his bow." "What's that?" asked Imogen. "Just an old rhyme," said Merrill. Suddenly, he sat bolt upright. "Huntsman! Now, there's a thought. We could get Blazen Bilbits to help find the door in the forest." "Who's Blazen?" Merrill glanced at Imogen with disbelief. "You don't know Blazen Bilbits? He's only the best hunter in Yaroslav, I bet he'd be able to find your door in no time, and I bet he'd kick it open. After all, the forests are his hunting grounds. Let's go and ask him. Wake Mary." Imogen glanced at her sister. She looked so peaceful, like a sleeping baby. "Let's go without Mary. She'll only slow us down." "Won't she be sorry to be left behind?" "Probably, but she's no good on adventure. We'll come back for her in a few hours, when it's all sorted." If only it had been that easy. It would be many hours before Imogen and Miro returned.